What I want to talk about for the next few minutes is where I want to get to in this class is how to develop an e-marketing plan, or at least the components of an e-marketing plan. But before we do that, we have to relate it back to what is a business plan, what is a marketing plan, what is an e-marketing plan, and how do they all tie together, right? Because Tiffany's going to get a job maybe in marketing and she wants to do digital marketing, right? So let's start it out by talking about something that we left off with last week, which is the IDA funnel, which stands for what?
Awareness, interest, desire, action, and then the L is loyalty.
Whoops. Oh. Okay, good. So what we do is we have different activities designed for in our plans to actualize each of these different things that we're trying to generate or accomplish. So one of the first things that we do in a marketing plan, for sure, one of the things we want to do is to create awareness. And certainly when I start, you've heard me talk about this in almost every class that I teach, is our number one problem here, our number one objective for most of what I do is to make people aware that we're here. The next thing I want to do as a marketer is generate interest in those that I create awareness in. Then I want to generate desire, and then I want to acquire some of these people, and then ultimately, and you would all fit into this category, I want to make you loyal users. Those that would go out and be strong word of mouth supporters. So as far as things that I would do to get attention, what kind of things come to mind? Now let's think about this. It can be from a general marketing perspective, or it can be from an e-marketing perspective. And this class is e-marketing. So what things can I do from an e-marketing perspective to try to create awareness of my product or service? And let's keep it in the context so that we have a focus of, say, Eastern Oregon University here on campus. What are things that I can do to create general awareness?
Would you first address like the target market and then figure out what they're interested in and how to grab their attention?
So who's my target market here on campus? We've talked about that before too, actually.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Adult learners and students who are already attending MHCC.
So what are things that you know I do to create awareness?
We put on
do a couple things.
Some events.
We did the events.
I was thinking of flyers.
We have collateral material in different places.
Like the newspaper.
The Advocate is a big thing. And within there, we do some little public relations. It's not just ads. We've started to put articles in there about the various programs. All that to generate awareness, although the last one starts to get into interest and desire too. But what else? Go ahead.
Would you have people, suppose people from EOU, go to certain classes and you're not them?
Absolutely, and that's something I've done in the past. I go to Andy Wong's classes myself. This year, I'm taking students with me because they're far more interested in, I'll have way more luck, we'll have way more luck of generating interest and desire from students, talking to students, rather than students talking to old, tired professors. Now, around things like acquisitions, what might fall into that for what we're talking about? we can keep it general, and as far as we're trying to recruit students, how can we actually connect with them to the point where it goes from desire to acquisition?
Promotion.
Like what?
Maybe promoting contact information.
What are things that are important to you around when you get to the point of, yeah, I want to go there, I desire to go there.
Just make it really easy.
What are things that make you make the leap?
Well, contacting an advisor, i.e. Andy Long, he can actually, with advisors, they're able to connect you to whoever you need to speak with the advisor.
So it's talking to advisors at, please help me actualize this. He'll say go talk to Marc Duncan, is one thing that he'll do upstairs. Yeah, but that's it, yeah. And then you have to decide after talking to me or Dwight whether or not you're going to go from desire to acquisition. What are some things that are important to you in making that leap?
I would have to have access to a website where the application information would be.
So things like, is it easy to do? What do you got as far as, some other things might be, what do you have in place as far as student aid, scholarships?
Basically,
Can you loan me a text, Dr. Duncan?
Right. I feel like once you have this conversation with students, you kind of hand walk them in the way of like, here's the student aid, this is how it's easy for everybody. You know, just basically put all the things that you yourself as a student would ask, so they don't have to think twice about it.
So am I hearing you say there's a kind of a personal sales side to it? Or not?
Essentially,
Yeah.
essentially, once you do have that sales pitch to them, a lot of sales people feel like people don't know what they want until you tell them what they want. And so it would be beneficial not only for the students to talk to their fellow students when it comes to those questions, i.e. the financial situation, how easy is it for the credits to go over, and the transferring. Basically, when walking them through it so it's not so stressful for them would be beneficial for the students.
Yeah, I
Does that make
prefer a
sense?
person of authority as well as an advisor rather than another student telling me how to do the application and other such things.
You guys haven't gotten that much of that, I don't think, in this process, have you? You have.
Yeah, good deal.
Good. Well, I'll take, all of you are going to be here next term, so I'll take some or all of you with me to Andy's classes, except for Tiffany, because she's done. But if you get an internship, you have to come back and talk.
Mr. Duncan's the best.
Say that again. All right. So here's the funnel. Let's see how we did. Actions to generate attention awareness: social media ads, demographic interest, targeting, display ads. That's what we're talking about things in the paper and so on and so forth. Interest, desire, non-branded search. Now these are e-marketing specific. What's a non-branded search? Then it says paid search, SEO, which is search engine optimization. So what's a non-branded search? Relative to, let's say, education. A non-branded search would be, you go online Googling MBA as opposed to EOU.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
branded.
Yeah, that's a branded, non-branded search. And then what you want to do as somebody who's selling something at this stage, now we're talking your e-marketing activities, you want to have a website that will pull people to it based on their search queries and the words that they use in that search. So that's where search engine optimization comes in, and we said last week, we talked about it, I don't know if you remember, but it can happen when you construct your site. You can have all kinds of words that you think people are searching for nested in parts of your design. You can try to create it organically by pushing people to the site from other places, like using your URL on your website, on your business card or something like that. You can have connections on other websites that are pushing them to yours. Those are all things to aid in the search process. Then when we get down to acquisition, we'll talk a little bit about it today, but things like email marketing. You know, you've got somebody on the hook and they're interested, you've got their name, their number, you want to go on a date at this point, so you send them a nice email. Or remarketing, you're sending them information about your program specifically, and these same things again, now it's a branded search, and eventually you want them to act on this and become a loyal customer. So I said in the beginning, we're going to talk briefly about, we want to get to what are the components of constructing an e-marketing plan? Well, before I answer that, because I should pick on Tiffany only because she's almost done and she's going out into the real world. So she could probably give us some direction on this. But what is the difference between a business plan, a marketing plan, and an e-marketing plan? There's a hierarchy there. If anybody wants to jump in 3 seconds, she's not going to do
It's pretty broad when it covers everything.
the business plan.
Yeah.
Is that what you said? Yeah.
And then marketing just like a subsection of the business of different categories.
Exactly.
E-marketing is even further down.
E-marketing is a subsection of a marketing plan. And that's exactly right. So in a business plan, this is a standard outline for a business plan. You have an executive summary, you talk about the business opportunity. You're really talking, I mean, that's really key in a business plan. What is the market opportunity to which I'm directing my analysis? Market analysis is scope and scale of what we're talking about. So I'm going to sell widgets and there's a great market for widgets in this area. I think I can sell 50,000 a year, whatever. Here's how I'm going to do it, execution. So this is the marketing plan, sales plan, location, facilities, all the details. Then you have a company and management summary. I'm Matthew, I'm awesome. I'm going to grow this company. I'm going to hire a couple people if I need them, but I think I wear the S on the t-shirt for a good reason. I might be able to do this all by myself. And then the financial plan is what you're going to need, your projected sales, that sort of thing. The marketing plan has some of the same components, but it's really, again, about execution, how you're going to do this. So executive summary, what the challenge is, how do I grow either a market for widgets within this area, or how do I take away market share maybe from somebody else that's already in it? It has a situation analysis, which short answer for that is it's a SWOT analysis. Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. That would always be a component in your marketing plan, but you also want to know who is my target market, my customer analysis, and my competitor analysis. Those are really important because you want, as we just talked about in 312, Matthew's going to hear this again last class, is if you're going to put together a promotional component, you need to know who your customer is, you need to know the different venues that are available to connect with them, and you need to construct messages that you believe will resonate with them. Market segmentation, remember I say there are 3 questions to always ask and answer about your business on an ongoing basis. It applies to recruiting students as well, and they are.
What's your product and service?
What's my product service?
Who is your target market?
Who's my customer?
And value proposition.
What's my value proposition? So within the marketing plan, you have to address question number 2 is, who are my market segments? And you said earlier, as far as here, it's adult learners and people coming out of the Mount Hood pipeline. Now, if you expand who's our target market to Kobe, then you're looking at, I think, 3, and we talked about this one in your preparation of the video, you're really looking at 3 3 or 4 different target markets. One of them are students coming out of Mount Hood. You could even include high school students that we're trying to pull into that pipeline. But you're also looking at people who, just like with the business program, are coming out of nowhere, adult learners that for whatever reason want to make some kind of change in life. And so the question becomes, how do we reach each of those target markets, and what are the messages and venues that we use in order to make that connection? Alternative marketing strategies. And then your selected marketing strategies. So how would you distinguish between those two, and what might be some catalysts that push you to select a particular marketing strategy? What comes to mind?
Depends on your target market then. Are they mostly online, for example?
Could be the target market. Measurable, actionable, accessible, differentiable, substantial. You know, you may identify, there seems to be an MBA potential student for somebody who works for Ajinomoto on the other side of town. Are they necessarily a good target market? I would say probably not, because there's no way they're going to get here on a day-to-day basis when we have our classes, maybe the weekend ones. The point being, there are disqualifiers in some cases for certain potential segments, and I think that's what you're saying, isn't it? Yeah.
Can you name those again quickly? Measurable, actionable.
Sure. If in
I mean, would you just give me the short list?
Yeah. So for a target segment to be an attractive target segment, it needs to be measurable. You have to be able to quantify it. Actionable and accessible. You have to be able to act on it, or can I get the message in front of people? I mean, I have a real problem. I've had a problem. I have some solutions maybe on how to get around it, but it's only recently I've asked the question, why aren't we as EOU promoting to employees of Mount Hood Community College? Especially when none of them know we're here, can't we offer them something that would both inform them that we're here as well as generate interest? And an impediment is I can't just send an email out to all the employees of Mount Hood Community College. Mount Hood won't let me do that. They're not accessible. But they're certainly difficult. I can put up signs and stuff, but I hear all the time there's signs all over the place, you know.
So measurable, actionable, accessible,
differentiable. Yeah, differentiable. Can you differentiate them from one another? So going back to, there's Mount Hood students versus adult learners coming from the outside that are maybe working already for a company who's paying for their presence here. Those are different.
Was there any other ones?
Substantial. It's got to be big enough to matter. All right. So we have these alternative marketing strategies that we can identify and develop from this information that we have above. We could say, I make a list, and one of those in the list is I'll email all the Mount Hood Community College employees, only to find out that I can't do it, so I can't select that one. So it's, you know, you put together a list, and that what you're going to select is going to relate back to measurable, actionable, accessible, differentiable, substantial, but it's also influenced on things like budget. You know, of these, which of them costs me money? What can I do for free? You know, can I run ads in the paper? How many ads can I run? It only takes me my time to go talk to Andy Wong's classes. So you have to have something like a budget and work through it on that basis.
A thought came to me, you might be able to target teachers through the union hall.
Well, as long as we're talking about it, I mean, I've done a couple things for Kobe on the ed side. I had Margie go to different websites and identify on these school websites, different schools within the area, where we could cut and paste the information, who are the, what they call EAs, the educational assistants, and send out promotions to them about our presence here. And that's kind of along the lines of what you're saying. The other thing that we did is I got a hold of Michael Fields, who teaches information management in LeGrand, and he agreed as one of an assignment for his class to develop a database. They went to different schools throughout the state, and they were each told to get so many names from different places in different South Central Washington, a couple in Idaho, but mostly in Oregon, and to get contact information with existing teachers and send them information about our master's program in education. So we've tried a couple things like that to be proactive.
I know this is maybe a side note or off topic, but what did the database, how did you utilize a database for that specifically?
Just for contact information, so that we could do email blasts and or letters. I kind of set the first one up with the EAs around the area as an experiment. I sent letters to a third of them, emails to a third of them, and then both to a third of them to see what kind of response rate we might get from each one. So it was just contact information. Okay? This is a little bit like financials, short and long-term projections, but from a marketing perspective. You know, what you always ask yourself, what is it that I want to accomplish with these different strategies? Some are to create awareness, some are to get new customers, some are to get rid of inventory, standing inventory. It kind of depends what it is you're talking about. If you're a car dealership, you might be doing something, like I said, just to get rid of inventory, and you say, I want to get rid of X units. And in that particular example, it's not just get rid of X units, it's free up X amount of cash so I can start buying new models. You know, you do marketing and promotions for different reasons with different expectations, but what's really key that I'd say over and over is you clearly define the expectations. You have metrics for measurement of what you expect the outcomes to be, so that you know whether or not what you're doing is working. So, e-marketing. Tiffany correctly said that e-marketing plan is nested